I mean, here's the thing about the federal V. A dead vice president is about as useless to the story as tits on a bull. There's absolutely no fucking point to killing the vice president unless something happens to the president. Maybe he gets kidnapped, maybe he gets murdered, maybe he gets arrested, maybe he commits suicide, maybe he's forced to resign due to some scandal. I don't know what, how, or why, but I'll tell you this. Either Frontier are the worst fucking storytellers since the dawn of time, or something is going to happen to Hudson, because otherwise there is 0 point. When Halsey's vice president ended up face down in a pool, that was not really affecting the galaxy in any way. Nobody gives a fuck. But then when Halsey gets missing and is presumed dead, that, okay, now the fact that she didn't have a vice president is huge, because it opens up all of these other aspects of stuff. It's very, very, very cool. Now, with regard to the whole, I've seen people question, like, man, why are they hitting Lave? Like, they're hitting all these capital systems. Why Lave? Lave is the capital of Galcop. Yes, it's not active anymore. It's olden days, but Lave is sort of one of the top, I would say, of all the systems in the galaxy, in the bubble. Lave is in the top 10. Lave has got importance and prominence because of the historical value. It was, you know, where you started the game back in the old Frontier. It's important. It was the capital. So, like, that's why. But yeah, man, going through these stories here, the declaration of Archon DELAINE. Archon DELAINE is a thug criminal who exerts his dominance on the peoples that he presides over through use of force. Sounds like a legitimate government to me. Sounds like every other government I've ever fucking heard of. Thargoid conflict discussed at the Galactic Summit. This was exciting, except for the summit ended before anything happened. Galactic Mysteries, the Adamastor. Let's just hop down real quick to the next thing that's in the notes, and let's just hit it and then come back, because it fits in right here. With regard to the Adamastor thing, basically, Frontier tweeted a picture with Morse code for the word Hesperus, and then a day later, they dropped more Morse code in the audio of the stream they did that had azimuth. And then they dropped the Galnet article that you just mentioned that seemed to indicate that the next phase of the continuing Adamastor puzzle storyline is either already has begun with what they dropped, and it's like, okay, we gave you clues, go out there and find the Hesperus now, the sister ship of the Adamastor, which was owned by Azimuth Biochemical. Like, go find it now, or I think just as likely is like lead up. Remember how they did those before with those binary code or whatever? It's like lead up, and then like a week later is like, oh, now we've dropped the actual thing. It's in the galaxy. Go find it. So either Adamastor Step 2 is live now, and you know, wait for somebody this weekend to be like, I found it, it's here, or it's probably coming like next week. You know, something soonish. And hey, man, that I'm going to reserve judgment on if that's good or bad until we see it. Like, what's the puzzle like? If it, you know, what happens? Like, but like, okay, at the very least, you have to give Frontier credit. Like, this is cool. Possibly, this has the potential to be cool. I think I've heard some people in the community state like, oh, another ghost ship. Okay, but like, yes, if it's another ghost ship and that's all there is to it, it's getting a little fucking boring. But if it's another ghost ship and that leads to a cool mystery, which leads to a thing, there's a site, there's a something, the story progresses, something cool happens, awesome. Like, so I think it's too soon to say whether this is like, meh, lame, or like, ooh, awesome, but potentially awesome, asterisk, and let's see. So then was Galactic Summit canceled, NMLA attacks superpowers, and the starports hit, and the bombing kills the Veep. You've heard what I said about the Veep. He's fucking pointless unless something happens to Hudson. Now I'm watching to see. Hopefully there'll be a cool story, a cool thing, something. I don't know. He gets killed. He gets kidnapped. Maybe he gets kidnapped and he's gone for a while, and it's like the thing with back in the day with Palin, where it's like he's gone and presumed dead, and then a month later he shows back up and he's like, I'm fine, guys. Okay, whatever. Like, do something interesting. Fingers crossed. Then the last thing that I want to say is with regard to this whole summit thing, if there's more to this than we've seen already, if, you know, come Monday, It's like on their way home from the summit, whatever, you know, Aisling Duval was attacked and kidnapped, or fucking Felicia Winters was killed, or Denton Petraeus was. If something happens, okay, cool, this is interesting and this is whatever. If nothing happens, if it was, we're setting up this big cool thing, we're gonna set up the red wedding, we're teasing it hardcore, everybody in the galaxy's in one room, but we don't have the balls to pull the trigger and make anything actually interesting happen. There was bombings, stations are on fire, you've seen it before, you'll see it again. Everybody goes home and they made it home safely. If that's the story, yikes. Why? You told us Galnet was gonna be like relevant to the universe. Please do that. Yeah, guys, your thoughts on all of this stuff. Go ahead, Roy, you got something in there?
Yeah, so I think we've talked a bit about this in the past, and I've got this theory that with the new people, the new accounts, who are just starting the game, or maybe have only been in it a few months, this story of the summit, culminating with, the capital of every group on fire, could seem impressive. Maybe it's less impressive for players who've been around a long time, because how many times have we seen burning stations? That doesn't feel that new. The CGs leading up to this did have a number, and we pointed these out at the time, a number of creative things they were trying, whether it was the structure of how you got the rewards or what the rewards were. So I do sort of see my question is, who's the audience? And if the audience is people who've played since launch or more than 2 years and have played out every game loop and are waiting for Odyssey to just have something new, that's a different level of relevancy than someone who's just still kind of overwhelmed with everything in the game. And then, oh my goodness, this UN thing, this UN summit thing just turned into wow, this could be war. Like you could read some of these stories as far more exciting than maybe they may turn out to be. Who knows? So just to point out that I want to keep that in mind, that there has been a seismic shift in the demographics in terms of tenure of play within the game community as a whole.
Let me ask you, Roy, if the end of this entire storyline is a Federation vice president that you never heard of before died,
I wouldn't be super impressed, but if I was a new player and now I got to grind rank on Federation and Empire, and to be fair, the first time I played the Burning Stations mission, I think that's one of the best game loops in the game. It's super exciting. The graphics are amazing. I still have fun with those missions. So that's what I mean. Like if that was sort of the prize at the end of the story, and I'd only been playing for 3 months or 4 months, I might be fine. I wouldn't be analyzing it maybe as deeply.
Good point. Tweak, let me ask you first your opinion, the same question that I just asked Roy, and then I know you had a point that you wanted to make, so.
Yeah, I would say that definitely wouldn't be enough for me, and that goes into what the point I was going to make. I agree, there has been a seismic shift, and they may be doing this for all the new players from the Epic Game Store and all the new players from Game Pass on Xbox and so on and such forth, but I contend they can do it for both. All they got to do is make some of these stories have some meaning, do something, make it have a lasting effect on our galaxy that will go, ooh, I didn't see that happening. I didn't see that coming. And then the new players will go, wow, some cool shit can happen in this game. And we'll go, wow, that was freaking awesome. Instead, we're just running the middle of the road, being as safe as we can be so far. And I'm hoping that changes.
All right. Wolf, hop in on this. What's your opinion on this whole summit mishigas? I'm throwing in Yiddish words just for funsies now.
I'm really hoping the story goes somewhere, because like you said, they had this whole red wedding thing set up, and then if everybody, there's a little kerfuffle, and then everybody leaves and they all go home safe and they're in their own little iron fortresses looking over everything, plotting and scheming and whatnot. Okay. They were talking about several different treaties and, different things for them to get together to do. Maybe something comes out of that. Maybe there's another summit or something that happens. There needs to be more to the story, I think. Yeah. And maybe we just haven't seen it.
That's the other thing to keep in mind. They haven't made it home yet from the summit. Keep in mind, little fucking blue-haired girl, Aisling. a little fucking waifu. Her daddy died because he was in transit on the way to make sure she was okay. So all of these power play people and top fucking interesting people in the galaxy are in transit right now in a galaxy full of alien threat and terrorists. So in fairness to Frontier, maybe cool shit's about to happen. We just haven't seen it yet. So fingers crossed. Let's, this could be like, I could be next week telling you, oh my God, the story is so great. We just don't know yet. We'll see.